Hello and good morning. Welcome back to my channel. This is Teacher Onan de Guzman, and our topic for today is adding and subtracting rational algebraic expressions. Adding and subtracting rational algebraic expression is like adding regular fractions. So let us consider example number 1. If I have 8p all over 3 plus 6p all over 3, so I'll simply add the numerators and copy the same denominator. So it means 8p plus 6p all over 3 is equal to 14p all over 3. So as simple as that. Next example. If I have 8x plus 3 all over 2 plus 2x minus 7 all over 2, I have the same denominators. So I'll simply add the numerators. So we have 8x plus 3 plus 2x minus 7. Take note that 8x and 2x are similar terms as well as 3 and negative 7. So if I add 8x plus 2x, it will become 10x, while 3 minus 7 is equal to 4. Okay, but there is a common factor between 10x and 4. So that is actually 2. So I'll factor it out. So the common factor is 2. So we have now 2 times 5x minus 2. Now take note that I can factor out 2 here and another 2. So let's factor that one out. So I'll factor out 2 and 2 here. So therefore, the final answer is equal to 5x minus 2. Let's have example number 3. So if I have x squared plus 4 all over 2x plus 4 plus 5x plus 2 all over 2x plus 4. So since I have the same denominators, I'll simply add the numerators. So I have x squared plus 4 plus 5x plus 2 all over 2x plus 4. So since 4 as well as 2 are common terms, so I'll simply add them. So we have here 4 plus 2 is equal to 6. So we have x squared plus 5x plus 6 all over 2x plus 4. Take note that I can still factor x squared plus 5x plus 6. So this will give us x plus 3 times x plus 2. As well as the common factor between 2x and 4 is 2. So I factor it out. So we have here 2 times x plus 2. Now, so I can factor x plus 2 okay, in the numerator and denominator. So factor it one out. So the answer is x plus 3 all over 2. Let us consider example number 4. So x squared minus 2 all over x minus 1 minus negative x all over x minus 1. So since I have the same denominators, I simply subtract the numerators. So we have x squared minus 2 minus negative x all over x minus 1. So simplifying it further, so we have here x squared. So negative of negative is positive, so plus x minus 2. But take note that the numerator can be factored as x plus 2 times x minus 1 all over x minus 1. So this is simply review of what we discussed on factoring trinomial. Again, so we have, I can factor out x minus 1 and x minus 1. So let's factor it out. So the final answer is simply as x plus 2. Let's have another example. So say for instance, I have 2m all over m minus 1 minus m plus 3 all over n minus 1. So since I have the same denominator, I'll simply subtract the numerators. So we have 2m minus m plus 3 all over m minus 1. Applying the distributive property on the numerators, so we have 2m, negative times m is negative m, negative times, okay, positive 3 will give us negative 3, and subtract 2m minus m, so we have m then minus 3 all over m minus 1. Okay, so what we're going to do is factor the denominators completely. So by inspection, okay, the denominator x squared minus 2x plus 1, okay, if we will factor this, let's observe. So this is actually square trinomial. So to say this is actually perfect square trinomial because if we will get the square root of x squared, that is actually x. And the square root of 1 is 1. And if you will multiply x and 1, that is x, and double it, that is 2x. So since the middle term is negative, so we will put here negative and negative. So the factors of x squared minus 2x plus 1 is equal to x minus 1 times x minus 1. The other denominator is in the form of difference of two squares, meaning to say, if I'll get the square root of x squared, that is x and x. And the square root of 1 is 1. So the only difference in the first denominator, the factors are okay, are actually in opposite signs. So if this is negative, so the other factor is positive. So again, x squared minus 1 is equal to x minus 1 times x plus 1. Okay, so after that, we will determine the LCD. So meaning to say the least common denominator. Observe that the factors of x squared minus 2x plus 1 is equal to x minus 1 times x minus 1. Okay? While x squared minus 1 is equal to x minus 1 times x plus 1. So to get the LCD, first, we will get the common or the greatest common denominator. Okay? And which is actually x minus 1. Again, so the LCD is the greatest common denominator times, okay, the remaining factors. So this is the greatest common factor or denominator times the remaining factors, namely x minus 1 and x plus 1. Observe that a while ago we factored out the denominators completely. So we have 6x all over x squared minus 2x plus 1 minus 1 all over x squared minus 1. So this is the same as 6x all over x minus 1 times x minus 1 minus 1 all over x minus 1 times x plus 1. So the next step that we will do is to get the equivalent fraction. Observe that our LCD is x minus 1 times x minus 1 times x plus 1. So we have already here 6x. Now to get the equivalent fraction is, observe that I have already x minus 1 here and x minus 1. So I'll remove this one. So therefore, my numerator now is 6x times x plus 1. Also, on another fraction, I have here x minus 1 and x plus 1. So x minus 1 and x plus 1. So the missing, okay, factor in the numerator is x minus 1. Okay, so the next step is subtract the numerator and keep the LCD. So again, if I have 6x times x plus 1 minus 1 times x minus 1, so I'll distribute 6x times x, so it will give us 6x squared. 6x times 1 will give us 6x, while negative 1 times x will give us negative x, and negative 1 times negative 1 will give us positive 1. So our numerator now is equal to 6x squared plus 6x minus x plus 1 all over x minus 1 times x minus 1 times x plus 1. If we will simplify the numerator, it will become 6x squared plus 5x plus 1. Now, if I'll factor out this expression, so it will become 2x plus 1 times 3x plus 1 all over x minus 1 times x minus 1 times x plus 1. Take note that there is no common factor between the numerator and denominator, so therefore the answer may be expressed as 2x plus 1 times 3x plus 1 times x minus 1 squared, because that is the exponential form of this 2x minus 1 times x plus 1. To summarize our discussion in adding and subtracting rational algebraic expressions, we have number 1, factor completely both the numerators and denominators of all rational expressions. Number 2, get the LCD. Number 3, get equivalent fractions. And number 4, perform the indicated operation or operations. So thank you once again. Don't forget to subscribe so that you will be notified about my new videos.